Yes, sir. It's about that time. TJ White and Darien Albert, two four-star players that Tennessee definitely needs. They will be choosing their program. I feel like it is going to be Tennessee coming up within like the next hour. So it's actually going to start at 2 o'clock, and we'll definitely take you there. We're not going to be talking while they're picking or none of that, but we're going to lead y'all all the way up for the next like 30 minutes or so and talk about what Tennessee's been doing. Please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Let me start it off right here with the chats. And also, y'all, listen, I understand that we did get started earlier than what it says, but we had to change the time some. And I didn't want to change it too many times just because it causes issues. But this is, really, I guess for some of y'all, it's probably good because we typically do start later than what the start time says. But let me get to my dog, J-Pat, saying that he's hoping that we finish at least in the top 10. If we get Keys, Hyder, these two guys, Darius Gray, and the other higher four stars that we are in on, I think that it's top 10, or he thinks that we can get into the top 10. I think so too. You know what I mean? Really, honestly speaking, most of these programs, they're just about done, picking up players. So Tennessee has a chance to have 3 to 5 5-stars in this class. As far as 4-stars, and we will be taking a look at all that stuff. Like, I'm really gonna, break it down so that y'all understand what we're working with at this time. But we have a chance to get, up to what I think is 13 4-stars. So we would still probably, yes, I think the top 10 is definitely feasible. As far as top 5, man, we would have to have everything go in our favor for that to happen. But it really doesn't too much matter, y'all, because it's not so much about what the class ranking is. Sometimes the classes are ranked higher because they have, more players. But the average, not even like the average ranking, but I would say that if you are looking at these sites, that's probably the best thing for you to look at is what is the average player rating for all of the players in each class. Like, that's a better indication of where this class lines up at. But also, there's different types of players. Okay, so Tennessee gets a certain type of lineman that most other programs, I would say most other programs aren't getting right now. So like Georgia, their guys up front on their defense, they're more just about literally like not getting movement up front, but just setting up this wall. Tennessee's players are asked to get skinny and go and make plays and get vertical. So those players sometimes aren't ranked as high as the other guys that might be bigger and they've got all these great traits, but it doesn't mean that they're going to be utilized in a way that really makes them, I guess, play as well as maybe what they're ranked at. So it's all in how the players fit into each scheme and things like that. There's a lot that goes into it. A whole lot of politics. So I don't get too caught up in the star rankings. So right here from my dog, James Faust saying, GBO, you already know, go Vols. All right, baby. So let's go on ahead and take a look at where Tennessee's at currently, or the upcoming people that will be choosing schools, and we feel like we'll be picking Tennessee. So we actually have 3 today. So the 2 that we'll be looking at, all right, so that starts at 2 p.m. And then we've got the cornerback who's going to be picking at 3 p.m. Feel like he will be picking Tennessee. Right now, it's us. I think Louisville. It might be Wisconsin and Ole Miss. And he's from Baylor, right? Like he goes to the Baylor school. So he's an in-state kid. He's actually from Canada, but in-state guy. We always get players from that school. I feel very good about it. The insiders feel great about it. And then we have Darryl Rivers. So he's going to be coming up tomorrow, or I'm sorry, not tomorrow, but he's coming up on, Friday, something like that. So I feel like he's going to be picking Tennessee, rated as a 3-star player, but he plays in, I don't know if it's the highest classification in the state of Georgia, but it's a really good class, right? Like, there's only one classification in the state of Georgia that is not just loaded with talent, and I don't remember which one that is, but that's not the one that Darryl Rivers plays in. So Tennessee needs tackles. We're going to take a look at what Tennessee needs in this class. Coming up on the 5th, okay, we have Moa. Okay, love that guy, and that is actually spelled wrong. It says Moa, but Moa. He's a wide receiver or safety. We'll be looking at pretty much all these guys, clips and things like that. On the 8th, we have Smith, in-state cornerback. Love his game. Okay, he's got the length, everything that Tennessee wants. And then on the 8th, Jowell Combay, safety, listed as a 3-star player, but everybody wanted him. And I think that we're going to be just fine moving forward because there's several more players that Tennessee will be adding. So let me show y'all this real quick. All right, so for those of y'all that might be wondering about Joel Wyatt, in case you missed it, he did push his date back. Feels like maybe this is a positive thing for Tennessee. I think that we need to, land Joel Wyatt. So we'll see what his new date is. I haven't seen anything here just yet, but I may have missed it. If y'all know something, please let me know about it down in the chat. And then next, this is Tennessee's class breakdown for 2026. And this is just going to show y'all, the star rankings for the players that we added at each of these spots. I would say on a typical year, okay, this is the order that Tennessee wants to, add players that can play. And I'm not saying start, but you look at them and you say, well, if we absolutely had to throw these guys out there, they could play on this level. Like, you want to add players at each spot, in this order. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're a 5-star or a 4-star, like what he's talked about. So Tennessee's been doing a good job up to this point. Defensive tackles is huge. We're about to add one today. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and claim it. I think Tennessee will be adding one today. Running back is one that we don't really necessarily need in this class. Savion Hyder, he's the only guy that Tennessee's targeting. If we don't get him, which I think that Tennessee will get him, but if we don't, then we'll just have to go to the transfer portal moving forward. But another spot that I think Tennessee really does need to land some players at is obviously cornerback. That's a place you definitely want to add some more. Safety, that's another place that I think Tennessee needs to add some players. And then what else we got? Maybe linebacker, because we will be adding one today. But let me go on ahead and start talking about these players' games. So we're going to start off with Darien Albert, because I think that he's the biggest need for Tennessee at this point. And he's a guy, I would say, look at like a big O, look at a big E. He's very similar to what they were, where he's a bigger player. He's going to be asked to, kind of take up blocks and things like that, but he's got more twitch than both of those players had. His pass rush looks a lot better at this point. So, Tennessee's doing a great job of going out finding tackles that not just will stop the run, but will also get after that passer. So this is what we're talking about. He's every single bit of a 4-star. He has great size. He's only going to get bigger. I see him playing at about 330, 340, and just being a total, just wreaking havoc. Because listen, y'all, the best place to get a pass rush from is from your tackles. If you can get pass rush there, that's why guys like Aaron Donald, that's why he was such a problem, because he could line up inside and nobody could block him. I'm not going to call him Aaron Donald or nothing like that, but the whole correlation that I'm making is that tackles getting penetration, getting pressure. Think more of like a Warren Sapp. I'm not saying he's going to be Warren Sapp either, but he will be more of that sort of player where he's a big guy that will stop the run, but he also has really good pass rush. That's deadly. Okay, that is totally deadly. Like, these guys, that front four, if they're dogs, you don't have to be as good in the second level with those linebackers or third level with your secondary players. Okay, so this is huge. This was an absolute and total must-have for this class. We haven't landed him yet, but I feel very confident that that will happen. He's from Mississippi, and so is his teammate, TJ White. So, the in-state programs, there was something that people were worrying about. I don't really see them being a factor right now. I don't think that they made their final cut. So as long as the in-state schools aren't going to be a problem, and actually with Albert, he shut things down after his OV with Tennessee. He was supposed to be going to Mississippi State, I think, for his last OV. And he said, man, I ain't even going because I want to be a Tennessee ball. That's pretty much what he said. So I feel great about how he fits into Tennessee's system. Keeping in mind that our D linemen, we're asking them to get penetration, to get upfield. You don't have to just stand there and make a wall and all of that, which he would have to be maybe a little bit bigger for him to play like that. But I mean, look at his skill set. It's crazy. So I feel great about where Tennessee's at currently with Darien Albert, and we'll see here within like the next 20 minutes or so. All right. So next, man, this is TJ White. And TJ White, he's a stand-up linebacker. I think he's a prototype Mike. Okay. He's about 6'2". I think that they said he was 240 pounds. This is the thing, y'all. With Tennessee's linebackers, they're pretty much, at starting weight or at like playing weight, it's close to, I would say, 235 to about 245. That's as big as we want those guys getting. He's already at 240. Coming out of high school, there's something called a freshman 10 or a freshman 15. Really, for Tennessee, for the SEC programs, it's like a freshman 20. So, he could end up growing into like a strong side end. Honestly speaking, he could, that could be the case. Now, if he wants to keep on playing at Mike, which is what I think he would play, he would probably have to come up and be on a different, regimen where he's not, hey, we don't need you adding a whole bunch of weight. Like, you got to watch your diet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would have to cut some fat and then add some muscle. So I could easily see him cutting about 10 pounds worth of fat and then adding about 10 pounds worth of muscle, gaining a couple of steps. And he's a guy that you feel very confident with playing early on. I would say he's similar to like an Edwin Spillman. You know what I mean? That's about what his game looks like. But don't be shocked if he ends up coming up on campus and he gets up to like 260 by the time the season starts and they say, dog, you got to go put your hand inside the dirt. You got to come off of the edge. He looks good in both areas. Okay. Really, really good skill set. He's a shorter guy, but he's super powerful at the point of contact. First step is crazy. He can definitely play out in space. Tennessee typically will drop our Leos into coverage and things like that, but he's a strong side end, and Tennessee's been adding more and more of these guys at strong side end. They can drop into coverage, so that just makes the defense even more deadly. Okay, it makes it even more versatile. Coach Banks, he is a like chess grandmaster. Okay, so I look at football like the ultimate chess game. He's gonna find these types of players, and he knows how to utilize them. So I feel like this will be a gigantic pickup for our Tennessee Volunteers. All right. And now let me talk about some more of these players because there's a couple more that I do want to look at. So actually, hold on one second. All right, so let me go ahead and get that audio out. But this is going to be Theodore. So Theodore, he's the cornerback that's going to be choosing today at 3 p.m. I love his game. In-state guy, and what I've noticed with him is in his scheme in high school, they're asking him to do this weird technique that I don't absolutely love, but you see a lot of high school players playing this technique where you're kind of turned to the side and they're asking you to bail. So it's hard to tell what his real true like college cornerback skills look like, but there will be some clips in here where you can see him playing more like square, which is what most colleges do, especially SEC level. I'm going to tell you right here, right now, he's a tall guy. He's a long guy. He has really good speed. He's physical. He can definitely play corner at a really, really good level. I don't care what their ratings are. 3-star doesn't matter. This guy's going to fit into Tennessee's system very, very well. He actually looks a lot like Haddon. Like that will be my comp for him. If you think about what Haddon looked like his final season at Tennessee, I'm not saying he's going to come in and be Haddon, right? I'm not going to say that, but I think that that's what he could maybe work to. He could get his game up to that level. And it's really not going to take him long. Once he gets into Tennessee system with Coach Nez, who I actually think is a pretty good teacher of cornerbacks. It felt like, some of the earlier years, we just didn't have that much talent. But now that we're, getting in more talent, these guys are playing well. And I actually think that their technique and their fundamentals look really, really good. This is what I played coming all the way up. So I know cornerback very, very well. And I can tell when someone's natural at it. He's natural. He still has to get better, but I like him a lot. And it does feel like Tennessee's going to end up landing him. So that would be huge for us. All right, let me go on to this next player real quick, and let me check on this time. So this is going to be Darryl Rivers. So we still got about 15 minutes, y'all. So this is Darryl Rivers. This is the guy that we're supposed to be getting on the fourth. 6'5", 270 pounds. He's going to be a major problem because he could play strong side in. I think that he could play at the 3 technique, which is more of like your pass rushing tackle. He could also play at the 0 or at the 1 and kind of take up blocks. It just really is all going to be based off of how he grows. But it's the same thing with all the tackles that Tennessee's targeting. They can all rush the passer. They all have twitch. They all have really quick hands, really quick feet, and they can play inside of a phone booth at a super high level. But yeah, I would love if Tennessee could add him. It sounds like we will be doing it. And he's playing up against guys, you know what I mean? Like he's not playing up against a bunch of scrubs. These are every single team that he faces will have probably 2 or 3 guys that's going power 4. And some of these schools, they're going to have guys that end up going pro. That's just how it is in the state of Georgia. I think that it's the highest concentration of high caliber talent on the face of this planet. That's what we do down here, baby. We play football. He's a football player. I'm very much looking forward to it. Tennessee needs to add at least 2 tackles in this class. If we could find a third, I think that that'd be huge. But these 2 guys should, supplement us. And if we have to go to the portal, then, we just have to go to the portal. We can add 1 more guy, but he's going to be a freaking playmaker. He's got all the skills, everything that I'm seeing here. It screams playmaker, really long arms. So like I said, he can also come off of the edge and just do a plethora of different things. I mean, look at him here playing versus that, option route or versus that option. He is one of those guys that I feel very confident with moving forward. And I could definitely see him getting some pretty solid playing time for Tennessee moving forward. Maybe not his freshman year, but for sure his sophomore year, he should be into the mix where he's doing some great things for us. So this player right here, okay, this is Moa. This is the safety / wide receiver. This is the guy that I want so bad, man. P&I, this is our guy. We want him in the worst way. He will be really good playing it wide out. Okay, so he's a 4-star, but playing at safety, y'all, we haven't had a safety with this sort of skill set in maybe a decade, maybe a couple. I mean, it's been a long time. I went all the way back to Jensen Jackson. Okay, sorry about that. I couldn't think of his name, but that's who I would say he's very similar to. He's a longer guy. He's a leaner guy, but in coverage, he's going to be excellent. Like, look at that. I love this play. This is such a hard cover for anybody, but he makes that look very, very easy. And then also he will thump you. He will hit you. He has really good ball skills because he also plays on offense. So everything that you're looking for with your safety to make some plays for you, to go get those picks, to go stick some folks, force some fumbles and get the football back to our offense, or just score on his own, because he's a major problem. He could also play special teams too, because his open field running is great. Like, look at that. I mean, that contact is crazy. So he's a guy that I would absolutely love for Tennessee to add. At this point, it feels like it's us and maybe Utah. Now, he's from Utah, so we'll see. Some of the insiders have come out and said, well, it's hard to take the players out of the state of Utah. But his brother, he started off playing in Utah, but then he actually transferred to Michigan State. So that leads me to think that he's probably open to that thought. Maybe he wants to get out of Utah. Sometimes that happens. But this, for me, honestly speaking, I've said this several times, more than Tristan Keys, more than Savion Hyder, more than anybody else, because it's such a need for us at safety. This is number one on my personal big board. And I'm just happy that Tennessee's in a really, really good spot with a player of this caliber. So let me go on ahead and get to some of these chats real quick. From my dog, G White, thank you for joining us, saying, come on, Rocky Top, GBO. Yes, sir. And from J Pat, saying that we need Moa as safety badly, need good safeties 100%. J Pat's also saying, love to see White as safety if that's his best position. Yeah, I would love to see him there too. And right here from Cameron Belt, saying that J Pat White will, definitely play wide receiver. He is a dog at wide receiver. I could see him playing there too. And then also saying I'm good with that too. Calvin Johnson type frame 100%. So, all right, cool. Let's see what else we got up in here, y'all. I think that we got a few more things that we could talk about. So next, let me pull this down. Let's talk about Jowell Combay, because Jowell Combay, he's going to be choosing on the 9th, and he's a guy that I would love for Tennessee to add in this class as well. Okay, he is, I would say, very similar to what Moa is, but he's not quite. Moa would be like maybe one step over him, but he's really, really good. Now, I believe he plays in the highest classification in the state of Georgia, so he's seeing dogs every single week. He comes from a great program, and Georgia really wanted him. You know what I'm saying? Georgia really wanted him. He just didn't, he didn't choose Georgia soon enough, so they ended up getting in more players. But it doesn't mean that the star ranking, if he's rated as a 3-star, Georgia brings in 4 stars, 5 stars playing at safety. Doesn't necessarily mean that Georgia had a higher grade on that player. And I've talked to so many different coaches and, just different personnel people on college campuses, and they say, man, we don't too much look at any of these on threes or 24/7 sports. They have their own grading scale, like they have their own metrics. So what you see on those sites is not necessarily how the coaches feel about these players, but he could definitely play anywhere in the whole country. I think at a really, really high level. I love him playing at safety. I think he's a true safety. Now, can he play maybe some star? I'd say yes. Cornerback, probably not. He is I would want him playing at safety, but if we can add him and Moa to what we already have in this class, Tennessee's in a great spot. And then Craig Tutt, he might choose Tennessee too. I don't know that we'll take a total of like 5 safeties in this class. I would do it personally. I have no idea what the staff wants to do. They'll probably only take, I would say, maybe 2 more safeties, honestly speaking. But, I mean, shoot, these two, I think Moa and Jowell, that would be perfect, because now you've got 2 guys that can roll down, play strong safety, roll back, play some free safety. They can roam the field. I think that their man-to-man coverage skills are going to look really, really good. They're definitely physical. They understand ball. Safeties have to have that. You know what I mean? And they love ball too. You can just tell that there's a passion with them every time that they're talking about it. They fully get it. So yes, I mean that's about as that would be great. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's about as good as we could do, but it is better than maybe some people think, because folks like to look at those star ratings. I know I keep on talking about that. That's not the end all be all. You cut on these films, you can tell that these guys can most definitely ball. So next, let's talk about his teammate at Kell High School, Brandon Rouse, 4-star. So they'll probably be choosing around the same time. That's how I see it. So again, July the 9th. I think that I don't even know what day that is, but I would say that it's very possible that they might choose on the same day. But listen, Brandon Rouse, he's a little bit different from like a TJ White. TJ White, he's a true like Mike linebacker, can maybe see himself moving up to the line of scrimmage. And, really, you could say the same thing about Brandon Rouse, but just on the opposite side. So he's more of like a will linebacker, I think, personally, where he plays out in space. You're going to try to keep him clean. Let him use his speed. Let him play coverage more. He's one of those types of guys. And I can actually tell you that here recently he did a 7-on-7, and he was playing at safety. at 6'3", about 220 pounds, playing at safety here in the state of Georgia with 7-on-7. That just goes to show what his coverage skills look like. But he could also play some Leo because he does have that type of length. I think that his first step looks really good. And he just started playing at linebacker, I think it was like last season. So still really new. His ceiling is super duper high, only a 4-star. He's going to be a guy that plays, I think, like a 5-star. Now, there's a lot of things that have to happen for that to take place. You have to be able to stay healthy. Like you need some luck to play on the highest level once you get to college, and then even more so once you get to the NFL. So some of the stuff is really just about luck. But looking at his high school skill set, he's got all the tools. He's got everything. And I also think that with TJ White, he's a guy that should be really good, blitzing and things like that. Our linebackers here recently haven't been the best blitzing. We got to be able to pick that up. That's a huge part of any defense. Coach Banks wants to utilize everybody as blitzing threats, just extra pass rush and throw the offensive scheme off. If we have more guys like this, which we already got a couple of guys up on campus at this time from the 2025 class that are very, very similar, right, to a TJ White and also to a Brandon Rouse. So we definitely have a type. I'm so proud of the way that this staff is targeting players. It's all about closing now. So this is closing season, and I think that Tennessee is doing that at this point. But yeah, I feel very, very good about how we're going to end up finishing out. So let me get to some more of these chats. Okay, so I think we already got that one. All right, cool. So we just got a few more minutes before this whole thing starts. It looks like we got about 7 minutes, and we will be taking y'all over once we get to that point. But if y'all have any more questions or anything like that, then I would be happy to answer those things. Let me actually pull this back up, and we're gonna take another look at some of these things that we have right here. Okay, so boom, let me go ahead and pull this back up. So looking at this, right? We had talked about, this is what I think. This is the order that Tennessee needs to try to find players in. It's not going to be like this every single year. Like Tennessee doesn't need to go out and get a really good quarterback every single year. I know that they probably want to add one, but every other year that's perfectly fine. Okay, like you need to get a player that's they can come in and you feel like, man, physically he can play. They're going to talk to him mentally and see, what is his leadership skills like. How well does he understand football? But the good thing about Tennessee's offensive system, it's pretty easy for you to grasp it. It's something that Faison Brandon talked about. He's like, man, there's a lot of similarities with my high school offense to Tennessee's college offense. That's an easy way for you to bring in really good players at quarterback. But offensive tackle would definitely be next. So we have one guy right here, right now, 5-star with 24/7 Sports. I just put the players' highest star ratings. That's what I threw up here. But he's a 4-star with On3. He's a 5-star with 24/7 Sports. He doesn't have to come in and play as a freshman, but I think that he's got the physical capabilities that he could do it. And just adding one is perfectly fine. I think you just want one guy that can play first year at each of these spots. Now for tackle, you might say 2, but that's not necessarily true because you can stagger things, right? So you just want one there. Now wide receiver, okay, we've got two 4-stars, and I absolutely love both of those players. I think that King is a guy, he's a little bit shorter, and people might sleep on him some, but trust me when I tell you, watching his film, he's going to ball. He's got that NFL, like the NFL now, they will still take the big, tall outside threat, wide outs. But for the most part, they're looking at the guys that are about, close to 6 feet tall to about 6'2", 6'3", because you can line them up in a lot of different spots. They're going to be able to run better routes, the separation, the, yak and all that. All that's better. And that's what Tennessee's starting to add to our classes now. Previously, it was just guys that were super tall, super fast guys, but they weren't really going to make you miss. And I think the coach Heupel figured out that, well, teams have started to maybe, sit on what we like to do. So now we need guys that can catch these hitches and, take it 10, 15 more yards. That's what we're targeting here. But listen, Legend Bay is totally different. 10, 200 meters, that's gross. Like, that's crazy. And then you cut on his film, you see him making people miss in the state of Texas. And then he's a thick, solid guy. He played at quarterback, which means that his football knowledge is going to be very, very high. As a specialist, I see him being just absolutely incredible. He's going to be a problem. Gadget piece. A lot of him as a running back. Throw some double passes to him. I mean, it doesn't really matter. He's going to be a major problem. Tennessee's starting to do more of that too. That, again, just going back to opening up our scheme so that we can be better versus these guys with our offense. That's where Tennessee's going to really be a major problem at. So ends. all these guys, except for the 3-star there, they're all strong side ends. They're not really Leos. I would love for Tennessee to be able to add like a Hezzy Harris. I would love if we could maybe still flip like a Tristan Gibbons. He's a guy that, really, really good. But yes, we probably need to add some more Leo. Strong side end is super deep, not just with this class, but with this team, period. For like the next, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, y'all, we're going to have, 5 or 6 strong side ends that are going to be, hey, these guys could start almost anywhere in the SEC. We got to kind of pick it back up with our Leos, though. Cornerback, we kind of already touched on that. Tennessee definitely needs to go out and add a couple more guys just because secondary players, if they're versatile, which we always bring in versatile guys, they can play in a plethora of different spots. So while Tennessee has, lost 3 safeties to the transfer portal, if you add more guys, maybe a corner or anywhere that you feel like are versatile, that helps you out with that depth. So we definitely need to add, I would say, 2 more guys, which that's what Tennessee's targeting. Tackles, we definitely need to add at least 2. Linebackers, we're actually probably good, but we're going to, end up adding 2 more. Guard or center, I thought Tennessee would have added 2 to 3. Right now, it feels like Tennessee's only going to be adding 1. Tight end, we're perfectly fine here. If Carson Snead backs out, sounds like we have some backup plans. I think that Joel White's a guy who could definitely play there as well. And then safety, we've got 2. I want at least 2 more. Running back, like I said, we're not, we don't absolutely have to have another running back in this class. But if you're going to add one, why not add a Savion Hyder? All right, so we're going to bring this thing back right here, and I'm going to get into some of these chats. Let me see what else we got going on. Let's see where we at. So we got a couple more coming in. So this one's from Hub saying, calling now 2027, we win the national championship, GBO. I can most definitely see it. There's so much talent moving forward on this team. I think that we have a shot this season. You can call me crazy. But if the quarterback situation, I think that if they can manage games really, if they can make a couple of plays, just take care of the football, make a couple of plays, Tennessee should be very close to making it because our schedule is so light. Defense is going to be tremendous. I've been getting some really good feedback, and y'all can, tune in with us on our Patreon, patreon.com/Bluechip Breakdown. We have inside notes. We actually will be dropping one here very, very soon with what's going on with our team. But the defense sounds like it looks crazy right now. So I'm excited about it. But yeah, we are right there, y'all. I mean, Heupel's doing a great job of bringing in the talent necessary for this class. So let me double check on this. All right, let me see. Has it started up yet? And I'll finish my thought. All right, so this stream hasn't started yet, but as soon as it does, we're going to take y'all over. But yeah, I mean, listen, Heupel's done a great job of bringing in talent and just making players better. I think we have so many really good scouts. And this was one of my questions after last year was, would he change? Because you hear some of the insiders saying, man, Heupel is not going to come up off of that offense. But from what I've been hearing, it's going to be like the same base, but there's a lot of nice wrinkles that we're throwing in there. That was necessary. I think that Heupel said, hey, I want to win guy. That's what we need. Like, that's exactly what you want. It doesn't matter how it looks. If we have to run wing T for us to win a championship, then damn it, we're going to go out there and get all the best wing T players that we can find so that we can win. That's what it's all about. Okay, that's what it's all about to us on this channel. Maybe y'all feel the same way. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just want to be out there and saying, hey, we've got a pretty decent team. You know what I'm saying? And maybe we'll make it to the playoffs. Maybe we'll win a championship sometimes. I want to win. I want to be in the championship race every single year, right? Like, I want it to be no question. It's like people talk about Georgia and the Buckeyes and Texas and all the. I want to be up there with them. Until we're there consistently, we ain't done yet. I think Heupel feels that way too. So this one is from John Scott saying, okay, what's going on, bro? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think so. I think we're building something special. I've talked to so many parents and players that's on the staff or that's on the team, and they're all saying, man, like, we really feel like something special is coming. Like they're building something special. So love to see that. Love to hear it. Saying that I love this. I love that the talking heads are sleeping on us this year. Let's get it. 100%. I do too. Let me check and see. Has it started yet? Okay, so we might have to tap dance around until this thing gets started, because they're not going to probably start right at 2. Obviously, we're at 2:01. Of course, they're not going to start right on time. Let me also tell y'all this. It's one more player that's going to be choosing. He's a wide receiver. He's a 4-star. So I guess that they're all teammates, man. They should be winning state with that type of talent. Mississippi does put out good talent, though. Obviously, that's where Tristan Keys is from. They put out really, really good talent. But just from what I've seen, we got some guys that really dominate. I have no idea what the classification is that they play in, but it seems like that's a really good program for you to have 3, 4 stars on one team. That's pretty good. You don't typically see that in some of these other states. Let me see. What else do we have up in here, y'all? I think we might have some more things that we can take a look at. Actually, you know what? Maybe we could go back and look at these clips. So let's go back and let's talk about Albert some more. We'll let this thing finish out. And y'all can just see some of the vertical penetration that he gets. Super strong guy. And I think he carries his weight very well. Looks like he might have, maybe lost a little bit of weight from his, well, I guess sophomore season to his junior season. How much more does that change? Once he gets up on campus, they're going to get his body totally right. But looking at the way that he carries it, looking at how he moves, he's going to be just fine for this team in 2026. Now, do I see him being a guy that could play as a freshman? I think that it's possible. You know what I mean? I think that he's got a good enough skill set that if he comes up early, which I think these days everybody should be trying to graduate from high school early, get up on campus and start to get acclimated, you know what I mean? Start to figure things out. If he does come up early, I think he has a pretty good chance to get kind of thrown into the mix. Coach Garner, he's going to rotate 6 to 7 guys at tackle, pretty much every single game. If he could do more, he probably would. So Tennessee really hasn't had well, I'm not really going to say that because last season we had pretty good depth at tackle. We had very good depth. It's not going to be probably as deep this season. There's a lot of young guys that are going to have to play. Now, next year, it's going to be more of the same. So 2026. So he could see the field. Is he going to be able to help us out? I think so. It's just really all in how much does he buy into the coaching, to the training, and all of that good stuff. But yeah, I'm excited about having a guy that's this big that is going to be a dog and stop the run. His pass rush is what makes me feel the most excited because we're always going to have really good pass rush from that outside. But adding it to the inside, and y'all are going to see it this season, 2025. Mark my words, right now today, July the 1st at like 2:03. Trust me whenever I tell you, Tennessee's D tackles will be a major problem, and everyone's going to be talking about them. It's going to be, I'm not going to say that they're going to be just like Omar Normal Life, but we have more players of that sort of ilk where, man, they can stop the run, but their pass rush is crazy. We got a lot of guys like that. So that's going to be big for us this year, and I think also moving forward. Now, let's come back and let's talk about TJ White. Now, I'll keep on checking to see, has anything changed here? All right, so no, we are still waiting. It's going to come at some point, though, but like I said, man, TJ White, stand-up linebacker, love it, but watch him here. He's going to come off the edge there. Look at that, setting a good, strong edge, maintaining that outside leverage, disengages as soon as he wants to. Now, this is high school. These are highlights, but you can just tell when it's that easy. He made that look super easy. That's going to translate. He's a very strong, very powerful player. I've never seen his hands, but I'm willing to bet he has big, huge hands. He probably has bigger hands than his size might say. Typically, guys with those big, strong hands or with big hands, they have strong hands, and they'll boom, 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 move you around, throw you away. He's going to be a major, major problem. There's something else, too, with Tennessee stand-up backers playing at Mike or playing at Will. I don't think that for the last several years we've done the best job of taking on blocks head-to-head. Mikes are going to be asked to do that. Hey, you got to go meet this guy inside the hole and blow his ass up. Hasn't been the best, okay? Has not been the absolute best, but with guys like this that are already carrying 240 pounds, that's going to probably get up to about 245 and, be really, really lean and even faster than what you're seeing here now. Those types of guys, they'll blow your ass up, and that's what we need more of. So I'm super proud of what Coach Inge is doing out of all the coaches on the staff. I say right now he feels like the most consistent. Now, that's a small sample size. He just came up last year, but last year's class, he finished very strong. I was worried. I said, I don't know, will the players buy into his style of coaching because his teaching is through the roof. Maybe their parents are telling them, man, look, this guy knows what he's talking about. Like, he's going to teach you. He's going to get you right. He's got that, like, quirky, like personality. And players seem to like it, which I love. But he's really just like, maybe like your favorite teacher growing up. He's one of those types of guys as a coach. So I think he makes it fun for those players. But he's a dog now. He's tough. I can tell you that firsthand. Like, players and their parents have told me he is tough on those guys. So he's going to bring it out of them. I think that our linebackers did take a step forward last season from what we've seen previously, but this year should be even better. Saying all those things just to say that he's doing a brilliant job of going out and adding the type of talent. Like things are about to start up. So we're going to go ahead and switch this thing on over. Give me just a second. If I can find it, all right, hold on 1 second, y'all. Hold on 1 second. We're about to get it up. I'm not sure. Here we go. Boom.
You guys are going to witness history. Whether it's going to be great, I don't know. We're going to see how this goes, but we are going to pull this off. 3 commitments.
Hold on, y'all. I'm about to pull it right back up.
Source for high school recruiting coverage. So, who are we here for today? There you see it. We're going to go in reverse order here. We're going to go with Amari Johnson first. Then we're going to see where Darien Albert is committing. And then we'll get to TJ White. So it looks like we're all set down in Jackson, Mississippi. Let's go to Amari Johnson. Amari, how are you feeling? It's your big day. You got your teammates there. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
All right, man. Well, the moment's here. You were a one-time UNC commitment. You backed off that commitment over a month ago. You took some visits. Now you're ready to decide. So, Amari, the floor is yours. Say your thank yous and let us know where you are committing to college.
Thank you to everybody for coming. And for the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be recommitting to North Carolina.
Amari, why ultimately did you decide to recommit to UNC?
How quickly you said?
Why did you recommit to UNC?
I just felt that it was the best, still the best possible place for me, even after I'd be committed.
All right. Well, Bill Belichick lands a good one. He's probably out there in Nantucket right now watching this live. Congratulations, Amari. You are now a Tar Heel. Let's pass the sticks. Let's get Darien Albert up next. That you can see his social handles right here. The big man's career is just about to get started. So make sure you guys are following along. You see his handles, hit follow, follow, follow. All right. We got him. He's seated. Dereon, how you feeling?
Spiked right now, man. There's a lot of people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people pouring into this one. The chat is excited. We got everybody here. 61305. You took your official visits. You went to Tennessee, LSU, Purdue, Arkansas, UNC. Are you feeling like you're ready today?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, the floor is yours. Say your thank yous and let us know where you are committing to college.
First and foremost, I want to thank God. I want to thank the support, my love, my family. I love all y'all, and I appreciate y'all for being here. For the next 3 or 4 years, I will be committed to the University of Tennessee.
Yes, sir. Go big on.
There it is. Tennessee for Dereon Albert. Dereon, why do you think Tennessee is the best fit for you?
You know, originally I went to UNC and I loved it up there. That was one of a kind. But then I visited Tennessee and it just felt like home. And my family loved it. They loved on me. My little sister loved it. My grandma loved it. And I knew I loved it when I went on the plane and I wanted to go back. So originally that's why I feel like that's home. Go Bulls.
All right. So one more question for you, Dereon. When you step foot in Knoxville, what type of player can fans expect to get from Dereon Albert?
They get the best of the best. They'll get a great person out of me and a great player that will go hard.
All right, Dereon, congratulations and go Vols. Let's bring in TJ White. There it is. There's his social handles. He is the number 5 rated linebacker in America. He's been on a tour of visits this summer, and he's going to be ready to make that decision. But before we get to him, make sure you guys hit follow, follow, follow. All right, TJ, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
All right. Are you ready to make this decision?
For sure.
All right. Well, say your thank yous and let us know where you're committing to college.
First, I want to thank my family and go nowhere without them. Really good. And I want to thank every single school that's been recruiting me, especially the top ones. Had a lot of good relationships with all of them. But with that being said, for the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be taking my talents with my brother and my teammate to the University of Tennessee.
Yes, sir. You already know what time it is, baby. Go get orange. Go get them, dog. Yes, sir. Hey, that's two huge pickups.
There it is. It's Tennessee for TJ White. TJ, why was Tennessee the best fit for you? We're celebrating here in the studio.
Honestly, just ever since I've been up there the first time, it's been feel like home, a family thing. Teammates, I already know every single player up there. I'll have a good relationship with the staff, team, and especially since I got my brother with me. So it's going to be a great place. Rock Top, it's an amazing place. So.
What does it feel like to get to play with your good buddy on the defensive side of the ball at Tennessee?
I mean, we already got chemistry, so it's really gonna feel surreal because when we first met, ain't no telling what it was gonna be. But now we're in the same place. We able to make big dreams together. So it's just surreal.
All right, from Jackson, Mississippi to Knoxville, Tennessee. Congratulations, you guys. What a great day for UNC fans, for Tennessee fans, and thank you all for sharing this moment with us. We're going to talk about it here on the other side.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and kind of stop it right there. And I'm gonna finish up. Hopefully y'all can still hear what's going on in the background there, but they're not really talking about nothing. Let me just tell y'all, these are players that are still left. I feel like Tennessee's in a good spot with. Okay, so there's still plenty of guys left that Tennessee can add to this class, and within like the next couple of minutes, we'll see how everything goes up. Might not do it on the stream, but we'll see how the class rankings go up. But this is now how this class looks with the breakdown. So y'all can see things are starting to fill out better. And we are, we're going out and getting the players that we need that can come in at each of these spots. Like I said, you don't need it at every single spot every single year, but I think that we pretty much crossed off that checklist of players that Tennessee needs for 2026 that can come in and can help us out. So I feel good about it. Y'all should feel great. This is huge for our Tennessee Volunteers. Let me get this one up out the way because that's Will Fong. He's talking about some other stuff. But that's going to do it, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us today. I think the Tennessee's in a great spot. We will have probably another video coming out here within maybe like the next hour or so if we end up adding the other cornerback. So thank y'all so much. Please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll be seeing y'all on the next one. Thanks. Peace.